One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh my goodness. Hi, Carrie. I'm working on the robot's AI today. Specifically, launching his main task worker bots. Setting up the code that actually does that. unfortunately, that means just a ton of copy pasting for like hours. It's gonna become pretty boring, I think. But that's okay. I'll adapt and then eventually I'll be fine. I'll get used to the tedious boredom. And then my mind will start to just go on adventures. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. Boring doesn't have to be bad all the time. It starts off kind of bad, but then I think you adjust. Maybe you should write an AI to do that for you. Um, we're coding really, really high level, top down coding of the AI that's going to do stuff like this for us. But you can't you can't say you should write an AI to write an AI for you when you first have to write an AI that writes an AI for you. So I am writing the AI that will do stuff like this for me, but you have to first write the AI the first time. And then subsequent stuff like this, yeah, the AI would do it. So this is that unfortunate and necessary. The first time you have to make the AI, then yeah, it would do stuff like this for me. So going forward, yeah, we would prefer not to have to do stuff like this, I guess. If ChatGPT could do it, would I let him? Yeah. You're talking about write this portion of code, right? Yeah, of course it would. As long as I could be confident that he's doing it right. Last thing I need is bugs. I generally create relatively bug-free code. I mean, yeah, there's some, of course, but they usually show themselves right away, and they're pretty rare. People say for most coders, they code for 1 hour, then find the bugs in that code for like 5 hours. So like 1 in 6 hours is actually coding, not just finding bugs in their own code. For me, for every hour I code is probably 5 minutes of finding the bugs. So I'm way better at coding than everybody. That means if that data is true, I would say that makes me the best coder or the least buggy coder. Is this code trying to make a decision on the severity of a external threat? No, it's not. Um, Code that makes that decision is elsewhere, not even yet developed. But we're creating the code that would handle the code that did make that decision and said, "Hey, this decision has been made," and then this code launches a specific bot in a specific bot mode that would handle the threat that was determined. So we're just handling threats here, um, or setting up the framework to handle it. But we're not making a decision over whether that threat is taking place right now. And we're not actually handling that threat. We're just setting up the initiation of a portion of code that will do something. Mainly, we're just opening a window that says, hey, we're handling this type of threat. And we're finding a txt file that's created when such a threat was made that says, hey, open up a bot that handles this threat, and opens up a window that indicates he's handling this threat. So we create a separate whole bot, a separate whole AI for each type of thing. So we'll have like a farming bot, a handling, an emergency threat bot, a laundry bot. So that way we only have to code a bot that does laundry. We only have to code a bot that does this or that. Um, and so that way, like, you modularize the different types of tasks, and you just focus on one thing at a time when you're coding the different types of bots. You're saying my code is simple? How dare you? I'm making my own operating system, 3D graphics, SFTP client, vision AI, hearing AI. I would argue that I do the most complicated coding, those types of coding, to make your own operating system, to make your own computer vision, to make your own language models. That is the hardest type of coding you could ever do. Your own SFTP client. That's so hard and involved, people don't even do it. Everybody uses libraries for it. I'm the only guy trying to make my own SFTP implementation without libraries. Same with computer graphics. I'm trying to do all that computer math without using libraries. I'm not using OpenGL, DirectX, Vulkan, nothing. I'm making my own. That is as hard as it gets. Well, I mean, I might be that good, but I'm slow. Like, I don't even know if I'm slow. I think I'm actually kind of fast at coding. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know, but they don't hire people who will make code the way I like to do it. They hire people that implement high level code that taps into high level code frameworks. And so they hire people who are well acquainted with these frameworks. I don't know all those frameworks. I don't want to know them. I create my own frameworks. So that's why I would not be really useful to that type of team. To any coding company, actually. They all want just script kiddies that launch code that other people wrote. I create my own code more than most people ever would. Because I want to have low level control and a deep understanding and unlimited capabilities. Alright, so right there, that was 2 down out of 19. So 17 to go. We have to do that 17 more times. That's what I was saying when I was like, this is kind of super annoying. Like this is a lot of copy paste here. How did I get into coding? I was playing a video game and certain parts of the game I thought were too repetitive and brainless, and I was like, man, if I could just create some code that just does this this thing for me. Plus, I was getting carpal tunnel, and I was like, man, if I could just have some code do this particular part of my daily routine with this particular video game I played every day, that would just help me a lot. And then once I did that, I was like, whoa, what if I had this the code also run around, not just do this UI thing in the game, but actually like do the whole thing. And then I was like, whoa, what if I had the code? Like after I got it doing that, I was like, whoa, what if I had the code like just play the game from the start? And then I was like, whoa, what if I had the code even just create the character in the game, like do everything? What if I had the code even download the game if the game weren't on the computer, and then create the character and then play the game? And then I was like, whoa, what if I had the code do this on many computers and all network together and they all play the game and they help each other? And I was like, whoa, what if I had the code also then take the progress it made in the game, either sell that game account or sell in-game assets or whatever that it earned in the game to people in real life? And I was like, whoa, what if I had the code also integrate with third-party websites that um, handle pairing buyers with sellers and actually create my listings there and process orders there and submit the order requests that come in for orders that are made to my bot network, and then the bots fill those orders. And so I just like kept going and going with it, um, and got most of that done. But yeah, I got it working. I made some money, but I never fully finished that whole project. And then I wanted to do it for more than one game as well. Have it do it on several games to make money with the whole botting empire. But it was actually during that process that I realized, man, if I can do all this with video game botting, imagine what I could do. Like, I think I read a post like, man, the people that are making video game bots this sophisticated, if they're that good, they should be doing bots that are actually like useful in the real world, rather than wasting their skills and energies just botting a game just to make some easy money. That's kind of a waste if they have that level of skill. And I was like, that's actually a good point. Like, yeah, botting games is kind of it provides a service for people in games if you're doing it quote unquote ethically, and I think you can, as long as you're not like spamming in the game, being obvious about it, as long as you blend in with the other player base and you're not harming the game, um, the gameplay experience for others in any way, and you're just basically enriching the game world with your bots, and nobody can even tell the bots are there. They just look like other players. It seems like the game's more populated because of your bots. As long as you're doing it in a great way like that, I see no problem with it ethically. But I still thought, it is kind of less cool and less useful for society than creating like using this type of code and technology to make a real life robot or self-driving car or something. So then that's when I decided, I'm going to pursue my lifelong dream of making a humanoid robot. And after I started getting into that, I kind of lost interest or just never found the time again to work on video game botting. But lately I've been starting to look into getting back into the video game botting again, because I have this idea that if you've put a lot of time into something and it is a good idea and it can make you money and stuff, you probably should, um, quote unquote, finish what you started and not just kind of abandon a project like that you've put so much time into. So I plan to create a video game botting empire, maybe not as big and wide reaching and ambitious as it was when I was in my 20s, but still following through with it in order to at least make some money and recover some of the opportunity costs of all the years I spent working on that. Making some money to pay myself for all that past effort. Plus, video game botting is an excellent way to test artificial intelligence in a virtual world. And so, most artificial intelligence researchers test their AI on video games because it's too expensive to get like real life robots to test their AI in sophisticated ways. So I'll be able to do both, but video game testing is a great way while I still don't have the physical robot done yet. Um, but yeah, building physical products that run with AI is cooler, I believe, and has more potential than just video game botting, which is limited in what you can achieve. Having a robot, like, I can make all the code in the world, and yeah, it can beat every video game and make tons of money in games. But is that going to give me a back massage? Is that going to do my chores? Is that going to do the laundry? Is that going to fix my car? Is that going to mow the lawn? No. So then automating everything in all these games is cool, but to have real life, everything you have to do automated, a personal chef, that is cooler. Way cooler. Or how about like just putting your mail out in the mailbox on a cold wintry morning so you don't have to go out there freezing in your flip-flops and lose a flip-flop in the snow trying to run back into the house and bust your butt on ice. I'd rather have the robot go out there in an icy, freezing morning to mail some mail for me. It's like these little things would be so cool to have a robot do it. Is video game botting good money? It depends. If you make your own custom bot and it's amazing, world class, it could theoretically make you good money. And it depends on how big you, like how many computers are you botting on, how many accounts, how big have you grown this empire. If it's just one bot running on one computer playing one game, it's going to be trash money. But if it's 100,000 bots running on 100,000 computers, a worldwide network playing hundreds of different games, and all automatically filling customer orders on hundreds of different websites, that could be a multi-million-dollar botting empire. So it depends on how big you scale it. It could be amazing money. You could become a millionaire if you scaled it big enough. Am I a crypto investor? No, I don't. I don't trust crypto. I don't see the vision. I don't agree with it. I'm not impressed by it. And I think investing in it's highly speculative and risky. I think that if tomorrow all crypto went to zero, majority of people would say, even people that invested in it, well, that was always a risk. It is, after all, just kind of like a funny little theory of a different way of handling money than the standard traditions. And nobody would really be that surprised at the end of the day. And that's scary, to invest in something, your hard-earned money, that has that possibility. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Silicon Valley Bank collapse? I don't know what that means. I don't even know what Silicon Valley Bank is. Okay, nice. Okay, we could do the next one. So that one is here. It's a big bank. It sounds pretty small if it's just for one area of the country. Like Chase Bank, that's a nationwide bank. Silicon Valley Bank has to be a bank that's just in the valley. It's a single branch, a single bank. That's not even a nationwide bank, so how could that be one of the biggest banks? Unless if you're saying Silicon Valley Bank is located in Texas, it's located in Pennsylvania, I doubt that. It would seem to me to be a very small bank. Jeff Daniels' scene where he's asked if he believes America's the greatest nation? No. I don't know what you're referring to. What's all this? Hey, Warp Smoke. I'm working on my robot, my humanoid robot AI. Just because one bank screwed up by incompetency doesn't mean the entire economy is about to fall apart, in my opinion. Oops, that's not right. Actually, there is a way I could do this faster. Whoa. Nice. This is gonna speed me up a lot, guys. Haha! Wow, I'm so happy. This is gonna go very fast now. Whoa, that was extremely fast. All we have to do is replace like 3 things each time, and all the rest of the text is all the same. Oh, this is great, guys. I'm gonna fly now. Why did I think of that before? That's so funny. I'm glad I thought of it now. Wait, what the heck? Yeah, okay. So now we're on this one. I gotta be careful. I'm making some little errors here. Okay. No, they would get their money back. It's called FDIC insured banks. The FDIC has to pay them back. Unless they put more than the FDIC insured amount in the bank. If you have like, I think it's $150,000 per bank. If the bank goes kaput, the FDIC pays you it, the 150,000. But if you had 200,000 in there, you lost 50,000. So that's why you're supposed to spread your money around to more than one bank if you have more than 150,000. But why would you put that much cash in a bank when you should be putting it in the stock market beyond a certain cash buffer? Wow. We did it. Man, that was fast. That was decent. Man, we're gonna zip through this in no time. I was like actually super just dreading this. I haven't considered not doing it. Because we don't have to do all this initiations of these different windows, but that was on my to-do list. That was what I said I should do next. You know, technically I could just implement the bot I'm going to work on next. I don't have to actually implement every type of main task bot right now. But that is progress to implement them, and it's something simple and brainless, might as well get it done. We were trying to progress after all, right? So get done the easy, busy work first, right? So tying off loose ends before we get into some of the more complex things. That is a good thing to do in theory, I think. But I was just like, man, it's going to be so repetitive. But now it's not bad at all because we're just copy pasting. As a matter of fact, Done already. We're just getting faster and faster, boys. Wait, we gotta do... What's the fourth one? Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. I think that was my record. This is getting stupid fast now. Thanks for the cheer, Warp Smoke. Um, am I still in top physical condition? Um, mm, I've been managing my weight through careful dieting. I only drink water. I don't eat any sugar stuff at all. And I eat fruit every day. I take vitamins every day. And I get like 7 or 8 hours of sleep, sometimes up to 9. So, for the most part, I'm in good physical condition, minus cardiovascular and muscle endurance and weight training. I'm not doing gym, basically. But I get involved in like physical projects. I play with the kids, um, like roughhousing. Recently, I set up a ramp and we rode a bike down a ramp, and I played with them. Like I helped them go down, and I went down on a bike. So like I do some stuff physical, but ideally to be in top physical condition, I'll be like doing cardio and working out like 3 to 5 days a week, and I'm skipping that right now. But I'm a father of two young children beneath the age of 3, and trying to, keep my businesses going and work on my passion projects like the robot. So there's just really not enough time, I feel, for the gym at this season, but I can always start up gym again in future seasons, and I think as long as I don't start putting on a ton of weight, I should be okay to bounce right back into it. Start working out again. Like I said, I don't really feel I have the time right now, and I'm able to get a workout through like working to some degree. Not obviously not as good, but to some degree I am. Even just babysitting the kids, I have to pick them up and carry them up the stairs. That's a little mini workout in itself. So there's like little workout esque things that happen, but nothing compares to like going to the gym for a couple hours. I think it's okay to not do gym for like a season, but you don't want to let that season stretch out too much because obviously you can start to atrophy, and if your cardiovascular health goes way down, you could be at risk of a heart attack or something maybe, I guess. So there is a risk to not doing the gym, but I think that risk is very minimal as long as it's like only been a few years maybe, but you don't want to stretch that into like 6, 7, 8 years of no working out. That's super risky unless if you have like a super physical and active day job that you are consistently doing, which I'm not consistent enough with physically active day job type stuff. Dumbbells while ChatGPT types out answers. That's funny. I wouldn't do push-ups for bits. No. It, like doing push-ups for bits, I would probably do like if I were streaming, like just watching like YouTube videos with you guys or something, or like if I was just eating a pizza or something, like the old streams where I would just be like doing something not really productive because I streamed all the time at that point. I was only stream or now I only stream like if I think it's something like really important, like I'm working on the robot or I'm doing something that's worth streaming, but I no longer stream just my whole life, just all the time. Um, so since I only come on and stream when I'm about to work on something very serious, very hardcore, very focused, and getting a lot done, it wouldn't make sense to drop that type of dedicated focus productivity time to do push-ups. But if I were like done with whatever serious productive thing I was streaming and I was like just hanging out with you guys for a while after, which could happen if I had a lot of people chatting and I was having fun with you guys and I didn't feel like working anymore, then I could see doing push-ups during that time frame. But I haven't really been doing that because the chat's been more or less pretty dead. I'm still having to like rebuild audience interest of like hanging out. Like when you stream every day, you have a lot more active chat through time. But if you don't stream for years and you come back, you'll get some people stopping by and saying, "Hey," but you don't have like just the massive amount of chat activity that would enable you to sit there and just talk to your chat for significant stretches of time where the chat's that active. Unless if you're like just really focused on that and people are being engaged heavily and they stay. That can happen, but it's rare, especially if I'm like focused on doing work. There's not the same engagement then. Do fun streams again? No. If I'm gonna do fun stream type stuff, it's gonna be like spending time with my kids now. If I have time to just be fun and silly, unless the kids are in bed, I guess then. But even then, if it's like if I don't have something serious to do, I need to spend that time just to unwind and shut down. Then I would probably just watch a movie by myself without the stream on. My biggest strength, maybe as a streamer, would be interaction with chat, but that's not my biggest strength as a like worker or inventor. That would be a weakness. If your focus is to be a great inventor, interacting with chat would be a distraction from that. But I like the chat from the perspective of like if I'm doing some boring job, having chat just to kind of as a diversion can be something that makes me actually want to work. Like today, I knew that this AI stuff was going to be a lot of copy pasting, very tedious and boring. Um, and so I was tempted to just procrastinate and just watch TV or something. I just didn't feel like doing it. But then I was like, well, if I stream it and I have Twitch chat going, that will be fun because I like Twitch chat. I like to have people talking to me and stuff about whatever. So no, I don't hate you guys. Not enough room on the floor for a push-up. That's actually a good point. I don't know if there is room on the floor in here for a push-up anymore. I used to do it by my doorway, but now that's blocked by the sheet, so you wouldn't see me anyways. Crack an egg on my head? I don't know. Not. I mean, I'm too serious about getting this stuff done now. Guys, you won't believe it. My Nissan Altima is a 2002, and my wife crashed it in 2017. And from that time, it's been just in the driveway under a car cover, basically totaled. Well, my dad said I should junk the car. It's never going to drive again. It's just sat there. Probably the brake lines are rotted out. You can't just leave a car sitting there in the driveway for 6 years and expect it to ever run again, especially a 20-plus-year-old car. Well, the car cover ripped off in a heavy wind day, and nobody told me. My dad and my wife saw it. Neither one warned me about it. So the city inspector saw the car exposed and got curious. He got a good look at the license plate. He saw that the registration was expired, and he put a sticker saying this car is going to be towed away as a junk vehicle within 72 hours. Either remove it yourself or get it registered. And he put a ticket in the door as well saying the same thing. And so I had to panic and quickly take care of it within 72 hours. So I went and got gas for it. I replaced the battery, and I tried to start it up. It started right up. That was hilarious. I couldn't believe it. It started right up, the first start of the key. It didn't even take multiple tries. And then it turned out I was going to pump out all the old gas, thinking, 6-year-old gas, that's going to be very low quality, horrible gas, right? Well, there was no gas in it. It completely evaporated out. I guess having a very small leak in my evaporative system actually benefited me because that meant all the gas got to leak out of the system over time. So there was no gas at all in the system, and it was bone dry in the gas tank. So I was just able to put in new gas. That was simple. Didn't have to pump out the old. And then there were some major brake issues with the rear brakes seizing up because there was no pads left and it was just metal on metal. So we had it towed by AAA for free to a family mechanic. He replaced the rear brakes. And then I also needed a wheel alignment because I had replaced the tie rod but I never aligned the wheels. He did the wheel alignment. I went and picked it up. It drives no problem. In fact, the mechanic, while he was test driving it, drove it enough to have it go through a full drive cycle, so it was eligible to do the emissions test. So I drove it straight from that mechanic to the emissions test facility. It passed. I could not believe it. There was no check engine light. It passed emissions test. And so now I get the registration. You can get it registered when you take your emissions test. You can do the registration right there. So they said, yeah, here's the paperwork. We'll send you the registration sticker. Just keep this paperwork in your car. If you get pulled over, you'll be good. And so the car is totally registered and everything now, which is just shocking. My dad was confident. He was like, this car will never drive again. Just junk it. Well, boy, am I glad I did not listen to that, because now it's fully registered and everything. Perfect runs and drives, everything. And so now it's just a matter of doing all the aesthetic work. Replacing all the bent panels, replacing any busted light bulbs, doing a bunch of rust repair, doing a little bit of carpet work, doing some repair on some seals, replacing the strut assembly in the front, putting in the wheel speed sensor in the back left wheel, putting on the new gas cap bay door that I made for it with a really solid hinge, stainless steel hinge system. So we've got a bunch of work to do on it, but the scary part of having the government breathing down your neck saying, hey, this car is illegal to have parked in your driveway, that's done. It's fully all registered, all squared away. So I have months to get that work done. Possibly years if I can pass the next emissions test. How often does the inspector come around? I think every single day. The inspector has no life. He just runs up and down the roads every single day looking for any type of thing to flag. Nobody's going to buy the car, Orb Smoke. I'm keeping this car. So it has 210,000 miles on it. It's a 2002. We're in 2023. That's 21 years old. My intention is to drive over 1,000,000 miles on it. I also have a tentative plan to convert it to a hybrid electric vehicle. So it will be able to run on gas or electric. And I'm hoping to just keep making it better and better. I want to have remote start. I want to actually put that in myself, design it and implement it myself. And eventually I want to make it self-driving as well. Although George Hotz made his car self-driving, and because it got on the news, somehow word got to the BMV in his area, and they told him, like, we're repoing your car because you didn't get permission from us to make it self-driving. So he moved. He actually moved to a different state and continued his self-driving research. Started up a company called Comma AI to do self-driving, and he figured out whatever legal loopholes he had to go through to make it all up, like not getting breathed down his neck by the government, which involved him making the self-driving code open source, but the self-driving system be not come with any self-driving code on it. So then it's a self-driving car, but he just sells you the system. So he's not selling you self-driving. And then you download the code for it, for the self-driving, as a free download, open source. And so he found a legal loophole to basically sell you self-driving without having to go through regulatory authorities. Genius. And that company is a multi-million-dollar company. And he actually bought himself a Rolls-Royce recently, a Rolls-Royce Ghost, based on the profits of that company. So he's doing really well. And I just have to follow in his footsteps, handling the stupid government authorities the same way, who are trying to stifle innovators like me and George Hutz with their stupid rules. It's like, hey, why does Tesla get to do it but I can't? I want to make my car self-driving, and yes, I can be sitting there paying attention as well. If the car messed up, I can take over. But guess what? I'm not incompetent, so my self-driving car would never mess up. It's going to be better than most human drivers. So that's the difference. My self-driving will be actually perfect. It's never going to get in a wreck, basically, because that's the kind of coder I am. I don't need some type of Bureau of Motor Vehicles breathing down my neck, telling me what I can and cannot do with my own car. It's ridiculous. Why do they have to ruin everything? So because of that, because George Hotz did everything on YouTube or whatever, he got on the news, and then it blew up, and then his BMV started breathing down his neck. I can't make the same mistake, so I'm not going to stream the self-driving stuff. You guys won't get to take part in it. But one thing is, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe I could talk to you guys about it in code or something, like, hey, the Schmelf Schmriving project is going pretty well, guys. Like, but I just won't be able to let you guys fully in on that awesome project. It's going to be something you guys just will have to use your imaginations. Oh, speaking of my robot will be able to drive. So that's another self-driving car, like, version where the car itself doesn't need to be self-driving. My robot will be able to drive any car. I'll be able to put antique plates on the car. That'd be pretty awesome. You don't have faith that I can make 1,000,000 miles in my car being a lemon? Why do you call it a lemon when it sat in the driveway for 6 years and then it started up the first try? That's not a lemon. Like, that's a car that's pretty robust, capable, reliable, that after 6 years of sitting there, it still started right up and it still drives good. That's not a lemon. That is a faithful, trustworthy car right there. Now, my wife's Nissan Murano, that was a lemon. We actually junked it. Now, that broke my heart, though, because I was doing work on it. I was planning that car to be for life. That's the thing. My preference is when you buy a car, yeah, oh, it costs so much, it's hard to do the payments, right? What a tremendous burden, what a pain in your wallet, right? But once you have that car, you never buy a car again. That's your car for life. Whatever you bought, that's for life. You don't get another one. So you better take real good care of it. And that's my philosophy on cars. And I was trying to get my wife in on that philosophy with her Nissan Murano, but she, behind my back, went out and bought a new car. And then the Murano became our third car. Instead of us each having one car, now the Murano was just a third car. And I couldn't deal with having a car I'm flipping, plus my car, plus the Murano, plus her new car, 4 cars in our stable for 2 people. It just got too much. And so I allowed her, she kept begging me to junk it, so I allowed her to junk it. It was just too much on my plate. But my car, I intend to never junk. I intend to drive it for the rest of my life. I've already driven my car to almost every state in the United States and to Canada. Why am I sounding like Terry Davis? Have I seen glowing individuals? If I did, that wouldn't mean I'm seeing something I'm not. That wouldn't mean I'm crazy. There is such thing as angels. I've never seen an angel though, but If I did, I wouldn't be surprised. I believe in the Bible, which should come as no surprise. The Bible sold 5 billion copies. It's the most famous book ever. Whoa, what is that? I don't even remember what that is. I am a tremendous burden on your I didn't read the last part, wallet or something. Thank you for the donation. Man, I haven't gotten a donation for so long that I didn't even know what that sound file was anymore. I thought it might be a subscriber or something. I just didn't even know. So thanks for breaking our long-term donationless streaming career. Oh, coding while railing against the government? I It's not like I'm anti-government. I'm not an anarchist. And I'm a patriot. I pay my taxes. But I don't like excessive regulatory rules in place stifling innovation and the development of technology by small actors. For a company like Tesla to do some type of technological improvements, they can afford to put their entire legal team toward working with government authorities to get all the red tape cleared out. If you're a solo developer and inventor like me or George Hotz, you don't have a legal team to get through the red tape. And that's the problem. So really, they stop small inventors and solo innovators from developing technology by all the red tape. But to get around that, you can just be quiet about it and do whatever you want to do and not tell the government, just be stealth about it. In fact, a lot of rocket companies start out in garages and they don't go through any red tape. They just build the rocket. It's called like an underground rocket company. And that is the way most rocket companies have to operate because there's way too many regulations over rocket stuff. And so they just create underground rocket companies. You could Google it. Google that. That's commonplace. That's how it's done. There's just no way you could get approval unless if you have billions of dollars or whatever to pay toward legal fees and whatever to make sure you can get it all approved. Okay, so vehicle maintenance bot. I love this. Vehicle maintenance bot. It's great. Can you imagine when this bot's done, like having my robot maintaining my car? That'll make it super easy to get 1,000,000 miles in this car. I can even have the robot rebuild the whole engine. Like, there's no limit to what the robot can do. Whereas as a person, you're limited by like nice weather, mosquitoes, getting sore after working on cars for a while when you're not used to using those muscles. You have all kinds of limits. The robot could just night and day be working on fixing up the car. So he would be able to for sure maintain. Man, can you imagine flipping cars with the robot mechanic? You'd be able to flip cars all the time. You'd just never run out of energy. In fact, the robot could even go on cartempest.com and find cars to flip, do his research on the going market rate of the car and how much of a discount he's getting, and vet out the car and whatever. And then I would have him. I don't think the robot could go buy it from the person. I would have to probably go buy it. But besides buying it and getting it towed home, the robot would then be able to fix it up and list it for sale. And then, I would have very little involvement. The robot could do it all. That'd be awesome. A car flipping robot. He would really make a lot of money that way from home. It'd be great. That's one way to monetize a humanoid robot. And I think vehicle flipping is a great way to make money for someone like me who has like some side hustles and stuff, but wants to be their own boss, wants to wake up when they want to wake up, wants to not have anybody barking down my throat. Vehicle flipping is such a great way. I can work on it when I want, how I want, wake up and do that whenever I want. It's completely according to your own schedule. I love vehicle flipping as a way to make money. And for the record, I've already made $6,000 from vehicle flipping in the past few years. So I am a successful vehicle flipper. Kodasoy checks the tarp early. Well, I don't have to worry about checking the tarp anymore. I have the tarp off the car now, which is a double-edged sword. It's nice to have the tarp off so I can see the car. When it was under a tarp, it's like out of sight, out of mind. I didn't even think about working on it. But now that it's not under the tarp, it's like, man, we got to work on this car. Plus, it makes me more likely to drive it, which is good. Driving a car keeps the battery charged, keeps the car, in working order. I plan to start driving it. The problem with having no tarp, though, is it's going to have the paint work erode quicker, it's going to rust quicker, and it's also um, going to get water in the trunk quicker because the trunk has a seal leak, and so the water, when it rains, gets into the trunk. That's, I think, one of the main reasons why I put the tarp on to begin with that, and I think um, after initially putting on the tarp just to protect the trunk from water until I fixed the trunk leak, shortly after that my registration expired, and then I really had to keep the tarp on because I wasn't ready to get it registered and whatever because it wasn't drivable because it had the bent tie rod and the bent wheel and it couldn't drive even though it ran fine. Yeah, mosquitoes hold me back. They're horrible in my area. In fact, one of my inventions was a mosquito hunting drone. I wanted to create a drone that would be able to use computer vision to find mosquitoes and fly after them. And then, those like mosquito slapper electric nets that you can buy? I was going to mount one of those on the drone so the drone would fly up to the mosquito, it would tilt itself and drive that electrifying net into the mosquito. And it would just do that, flying around the yard, killing every mosquito. And it would also give off a mosquito drawing scent, so that mosquitoes would be drawn to the drone from like all the nearby yards. It would draw mosquitoes from far and wide, and it would kill them all in midair. In fact, that would be really nice to do with the Japanese beetle problem we have. It would kill Japanese beetles too. That would be great, because those things are destroying my trees. That's why I have to keep nets around them. Around my fruit trees. They're just little baby trees. They can't handle all that pest pressure. Well, maybe they can handle it, but I'm not taking that risk. I spent way too much money on the trees to let them get killed by some stupid beetles. Just a few more to go. Can't wait. Once this is done, we get to start working on, I think oh man, we get to work on the chatting with Larry TXT file bot. That when we start working with that, we're going to be teaching the robot how to AI itself, man. It's going to be, we're going to be working on like real AI, conversational AI. And that's going to fork out into all kinds of stuff like him. Like if we're talking and he doesn't know something I said, he's going to look it up online. So that's going to fork out into us creating his ability to interact with the internet. And then if he doesn't know how to respond, he'll like ask ChatGPT or he'll get help on how to respond to something I ask it. And if I ask it a question, he needs the answer. It's gonna fork out in him looking up the answer on Google or asking ChatGPT to get like information, and then he'll store that information locally as well to learn from it. So this texting and chatting with me back and forth is going to fork out into all kinds of capabilities for the AI. And so I'm very, very excited about it. This is going to be like the entry point to us really starting to get like everything so far has been like kind of framework and high level stuff, but this is going to be like the nitty gritty of the AI really coming to life. It's so exciting, and we're about to start that, I believe, um, within the next like half hour. As soon as I'm done with this. Whoa! Wait, can you have an apostrophe in a file name? Yeah, I think so. Let me check. Yeah, that's fine. Be right back. Man, you talking about blenders making me want to work on my 3D graphics custom coding project, which will be a project where it's gonna first like create a cube and then like it will give me a split mesh tool and move vertices tool, and I'll be able to rotate and zoom in and zoom out. Like the way I'm gonna generate my 3D graphics engine will be like starting out with having me able to use my engine like a blender. I'll be able to do um, 3D modeling in it. And so I'm basically creating my own blender in a way. And I have to actually do that for my robot project because the robot needs to be able to model in 3D his entire environment in order to navigate through it and run simulations of like interacting with the environment. So I have to create my own blender basically. And I'm looking forward to that. It's super interesting and fun project to me. What the heck? This particular bot we're defining now is the bot that will build Adam. So Abel's going to build Adam, and then Adam and Abel will both build Cain. No, I don't want a robot named Cain. We'll skip Cain. We'll jump straight to, I don't know, Seth or something. If you build a robot named Cain, you're pretty much asking to have this robot throttle you in your sleep. Oh, that's so funny. I thought if I make my robot talk about the Bible a lot, everyone would be like, wow, you made a robot AI that's the singularity. It's smarter than every human combined. I would be like, yep. They would be like, how much can I buy it for? And then I'd try to sell it to them, but first I let them meet it, and then I would say, so do you still want to buy it? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, why? They'd say, because it just talks about the Bible. Oh, it's like that dog that tells too many lies. It's a talking dog. But the joke doesn't really work because I do want an AI that talks about the Bible a lot. But the funny thing would be like everybody else that would want to have this robot because it's the singularity will no longer want it when they find out that it just talks about the Bible a lot. I mean, it'll do other stuff too, but they'll be mad because it's going to call them a sinner. People don't want a judgmental robot. But I can handle judgmental robot because I don't sin. So the robot could try to judge me, and we'll find it to be a difficult task because I don't sin. Okay. Um, so that's done. It's Bye! Not hacking. I'm creating the robot's AI. What is Amazon Alexa? I never heard of it. Okay. What if Adam goes berserk? Uh, that's impossible, I think. The only way a bot could go berserk is if the person coding the bot is a complete incompetent loser. I'm not a complete incompetent loser. Almost one-shot it. All the code we've been doing for the last 4 hours. I think I just fixed the only bug, which is that one little line. So far, it looks like it's all running perfectly. Well, Stan, Adam is not going to go berserk. Why would you think that? That means you think I'm a bad programmer. See, if you just let your robot learn on its own without supervising the learning and seeing, where he's at, and being able to follow his logic, then it could start doing behavior that's way out of what you ever envisioned for it. But that's not how mine's going to be. Mine's going to learn methodically with my guidance. It's just like raising a child. Okay, yeah. It's just like raising a child. So, like, I have 2 daughters, right? Is they're learning things. If I notice, like, they were watching a TV show and the character cussed on the show, if I hear them cussing, I'll be like, whoa, where did you hear that from? That's not okay. You shouldn't be cussing. That's inappropriate behavior. And they'll be like, oh, well, we heard it on this show. I'll say, well, that show shouldn't have been having cussing on it. I don't want you doing that anymore. And then they'll say, okay, so technically that's like going berserk. Like they got programmed by a show to say something they shouldn't be programmed to say. So you catch little things like that early on. But if you were to just have your kids raise themselves and never check on them and never observe their behavior and make little corrections when you see them going astray, then yeah, you could find out they went berserk, they're cussing, they're doing drugs, they're doing all this stuff that they were taught by society or whatever, by getting in with the wrong crowd. So as long as you're paying attention and helping guide the robot as it's learning, that's impossible. It's if you just tuned out or you don't know how it learns and you're not able to really see what it's learning and how that's all going down, that's when it would start going way off the walls. But it's not a black box to me. I know exactly what's going to be going on. I'll be monitoring everything and following its progress. So it's not going to have any unexpected behavior beyond like little tiny things, little tiny bugs, nothing major. Will Cain code Adam to not have a sin nature? I'm not going to make a robot named Cain because that's like asking for trouble in my opinion. Cain's the bad guy, so I don't want a robot with a bad guy type of name. And as far as a sin nature, no, I'm not going to program the robots to have a sin nature, so they're going to be without sin. Adam will have the mouth of a sailor? I hope not. You put a new viewport on your microwave? Are you trying to copy me? By the way, you guys can't see the very top of my screen, so I'll just drag these windows down. These are being opened up. So we got the texting bot, the AI hearing bot, the AI vision bot, the chatting with Larry in a TXT file bot, and the Bible reading bot. So those are our so far implemented 5 background processes that will always run anytime the AI is running, and they will be monitoring these things at all times. Now that's to be differentiated from the main task bot, which in our case is going to be cleaning bot, because there's no other main task being requested right now by anything, so he's going to default to cleaning as one of his chores. That's his top chore that he would do. So the cleaning bot will open up shortly, which hasn't happened yet. Okay, that just happened now. So the cleaning bot opens. That's a main task bot. So these are background tasks. This is a main task. I call it a main task because he can't do more than one main task at any given time. Main task is usually involving a physical activity or something he's doing with his robot body. Whereas these are all just background things, just software that runs in the background doing stuff. This one's going to study the Bible and learn from the Bible. This one's gonna just maintain a conversation in a TXT file with me all the time. Whenever I write in it, it will respond to that. So this will be like the chatbot, and then this is a chatbot, but it's on cell phone texting. So he'll be texting my phone to ask me questions and stuff. And that's a very important functionality because let's say like I'm not around and he's doing laundry, and like let's say he runs out of detergent. He would be able to send me a text and say, "Hey, we're out of detergent, and I need to order some more. Um, is there anything else you'd like me to order along with that? Since I'm going to be ordering it from, I don't know, Amazon. What's the name of these stores where TaskRabbit or whatever? Like one of these apps where they get your groceries for you. My wife uses it. I haven't used it yet. Amazon, I've used their Whole Foods delivery system or whatever to have fruit delivered. So he'll be like, "Hey, I just want authorization to make this order." At least to start out, Adam's going to ask for authorization before he uses my credit card. But once Adam's really well established, he'll just be able to order stuff without even asking me for verification. But if you can imagine, if I didn't trust the robot and he was very buggy, he could end up ordering like thousands of dollars worth of detergent in like a broken infinite loop. He could just max out my credit card because of some coding bug. So obviously I'd want to make sure he's really dependable and well tested before he starts actually buying anything. So that's what the texting Larry bot's all about. So the cleaning bot is like him actually getting up, walking to the laundry room, and actually, starting to sweep up the laundry room floor, walking throughout the house, doing some vacuuming, doing some dusting, etc. So much progress lately. What makes you say that? You won't add a detergent creation unit? You can't just create detergent out of nothing. You have to have raw materials. And obtaining the raw materials to make detergent from nature, you're saying like what, have the robot walk out into the woods and find the raw materials to make detergent, bring them home, and then craft detergent from those raw materials? I don't even know if that's legal. I don't think the robot can just go in the woods and just find materials there. I would have to own the woods. I don't own any woods. So I just literally can't do that. If I want the robot to go out into nature and find raw materials to make something, I would have to buy land, which someday maybe I would do, and then I'd be able to have him like mine for ore and then use the ore to make metals and then use the metals to make robots or something. That'd be pretty sick, but I think that's beyond the scope of my current trajectory, although I could expand to that. His fingertip should open to squirt detergent. Uh, no, because then he's got to carry onboard large amounts of detergent and keep it stocked. And he's not going to be doing laundry enough to justify that extra weight addition. And the space inside his body is very contested already. And so he wouldn't have room for a large reservoir of detergent in his robot body. The robot will get supplies from rummaging through neighbors' trash. Actually, that's a genius idea. I think that should be something I consider seriously, is having one of the robot's functions to be to walk around in the middle of the night looking through neighbors' trash for valuable electronics and other materials it can use to help it make my various inventions and make more robots. So that's actually a really good idea. And yeah, he could also look through neighbors' trash to get like plastic, which he can use to feed into my plastic recycling machine, which I'm already in the process of building. I made good progress on it, and he could use that to do plastic injection molding for some products I sell, or for injection molding various parts for robotics or other inventions I have. So that would be pretty cool if he could gather from trash raw materials that can be used for products I sell online. I don't be able to trade a paperclip into a house. Possibly. I know what you're talking about, where you like up trade on different trading platforms. That would be pretty interesting slash cool for the robot to do something like that. Um, yeah, that's like retail arbitrage. Yeah, I would like if he could do that. That'd be cool. What the heck? He's saying the cleaning bot window is not open, but it's open right here. So I don't know why. What's wrong with this code here? What's going on? Oops. Look at that. It's supposed to be that. Alright, just fix the bug. Alright, we should have it work properly this time. Alright, he just opened the cleaning bot. Now let's see if he can detect that it's open properly. Cleaning main task worker bot window was spotted, so this time it found it. Moving on to checking for next main task directives, possible TXT. However, at least one main task is underway. Starting loop over, then from the top to see if any main task request comes through to interrupt the current one. Loop directive name is emergency life death situation, emergency risk of serious mental or physical harm, firm command by authority figure. Alright, so that's all working properly now. Alright, so we can take out this pause. And he's ready to rip. Okay. So, uh-oh. Woo! You know what that means, boys. Wow, I'm freaking out right now. That means it's time. We got everything working. This one. Okay. We're about to start working on the chatting with Larry in a TXT file bot. This is big, big.